I'm back in Hong Kong. Today I'm going to share with you some of my diary entries from the past year or so. So I don't know if I've said this before, but I actually only started eating the way that I eat now a couple weeks before I uploaded my first YouTube video. And that was uploaded like early June 2018. So actually for the good part of this year, I was a completely different person. So I think, well I hope, that sharing my diary will show you just how quick my move to recovery was. Up until the night before I started eating unrestricted, I thought that this was kind of how life was going to be for me. That was it. But it is not. I'm holding your face. It is not how it's meant to be. Life is a little bit more sunny. I also hope that sharing my diary entries will highlight how throughout this year I thought that I was in recovery, but reading back you can actually just see that I was doing everything I could to skirt around recovery and try and not face it head on. So without further ado, I got on the sofa because I kind of regret getting on the sofa now. I'm about to read a sad diary entry, Bear. Ouch! October 27th, 2016. Climbing into bed in my dorm room is the worst feeling. I have this plastic blow-up mattress that has been unnecessarily pumped to the size of a beach ball, and the plastic is cold. I get into bed and I become colder than I was before. For 2 minutes I curl up in this fetal position and I cup my ears and I clench my toes. I try to trap in as much heat as possible. I hate my room, but I don't want to go anywhere. To put that into context, I wrote that in my dorm room because I was attending a school in New York. 2 months before this, I had discharged from a treatment center, and the spiral down to what I described in this entry was very rapid. Around this time, I called my mum out of the blue and I basically begged her to put me in an inpatient hospital, which completely was a shock to my mum because prior to this time I had never ever wanted to go to treatment, but I was very desperate at the time. So I left school without notice and I just went to treatment. I wanted and I needed to feel better. I say feel better rather than I wanted to recover. But I did feel better very quickly when I got to treatment, and that should have been a sign that food was the answer. Food was the only way out of this hell. But Monday, 21st of November. This is not a good sign. I woke up this morning still completely stuffed from the food yesterday. I'm usually starving in the morning and excited to get eating, but my body is huge and bloated now. I don't look sick anymore. It's been a week and I already look like this. I honestly believed it would take a few weeks until I got here, but not 1 week. I know I could leave now and then my fear of weight gain wouldn't be a problem anymore. So the second that I start feeling better, my ED completely pounces on me and starts glamorizing itself again. That was kind of a recurring theme for me throughout the year. I dropped to these terrible, terrible lows and then have this burst of motivation to do better. And then I'd start off with a bang and then quickly dwindle back to the eating disorder. I can see here I was very vulnerable and I should have stayed and continue eating, but I ended up leaving early from treatment. May 28th, 2017. For some reason, I want nothing more than to hide away alone in my apartment, structuring my day around my meals. But like every morning, I throw myself out of bed, body aching, ridiculously starving, my mind already racing about exactly what I'll buy at the grocery store and if the numbers add up correctly. And even though what I need to do is relax and eat my breakfast, I'm forbidden to go get my food until I do this exercise squat routine that has randomly become a daily chore that I must complete. I didn't know that painful thoughts could cause physical pain, but I guess it very well can because I hurt even before I start the routine. So this was written basically 6 months after treatment. I came back from treatment and I was quite motivated, but my motivation was very skewed. I wanted to eat, I wanted to keep myself stable, but I was also fixated on this weight that I had to stay at. I did make some strides towards recovery. Found out about these meal plan services that delivered every meal to your door. So I did that. This meal plan company had a variety of different calorie options and I ended up picking the highest one, the muscle building one, and of course it still wasn't good enough for what I needed. I needed way more than that. But the idea of picking the highest calorie option made me really believe that I was in recovery. I think I wanted to do something good, but at the same time the fear of gaining weight made me feel like I had to exercise. And you can see here that I had these weird ritualistic exercise routines that I had to do in the morning. It was so disheartening when time went by and I felt even worse, but I thought that I was doing the right thing. That just trying to push through is really difficult, and wondering why you're so lazy that you don't want to go see people and you don't want to do anything, it made me feel pathetic. But now looking back, I see that I've scaled everything down to that minute where I'm feeling fear, and I don't push past it. I don't look at the bigger picture of recovery, and I give in to that fear. And as I read on, I feel like when I gave into the fear then, it only meant that I was going to feel pain later on. Stopping for lunch. Going out to get myself something to eat by myself. What's up? I would go with Tyler, but he's out paintballing. 28th of August 2017. I really can't fight anymore. I'm so scared that this is how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life. Just a forever battle to keep going, get through the hours, wishing that they would go by faster. I have this weight of doom, anxiety, and exhaustion that follows me everywhere. I can't stop feeling extreme sadness because I know that I'm wasting so much time doing nothing. Every day I just tell myself I need to start and work and plan and literally pretend that I don't feel this way, but I can't. Every night I go to bed feeling like another day wasted, and every morning when I wake I feel like I have so many hours to get through. I have so many things I need to do or that I could do. I wish I could do them. I wish my body would let me. I want to feel excited for my days again and feel like I don't have enough time to enjoy. Exhaustion is underlined. I can remember when I wrote this and I was feeling really hopeless, and I really thought that I was eating more, and I was eating more than before, but at the same time it wasn't enough. And even if I'm eating more, if I'm still under my needs on a daily basis, I'm gonna just keep going in an energy deficit. That's why after 8 months it seems that I'm just, well, exhausted. And I think also in the back of my mind I knew that I still wasn't eating enough, but I wouldn't let myself go there. And I think that was another main cause of why I was so anxious. Even now I still get anxiety from time to time, but most of the time I feel anxious when I know that I haven't eaten enough during that day, or if I know that I'm hungry and I'm not satisfying my needs. So the fact that I was really not satisfying my needs at this point is probably why I was so anxious. I can tell from how I'm writing now that I'm really over it, and I really don't want this anymore. I think I just didn't know what to do next. Too much deep stuff has been going on right now. This calls for a break. I was in the supermarket today and I was in the bakery section and I saw a whole New York cheesecake. Even let me have the say cheese one. Fat-free JK. Wow. Yes, it's just a sign, but at the same time, this cheesecake has a sign that's saying it's got fat in it. But then I was like, hold up. Hey, I was eyeing this cheesecake, I wanted it, and no sign is gonna tell me what to do. So I ordered it, and I got the nice sign, say cheese. I like that, I might frame it. So I actually didn't write anything else until the 20th of April 2018. I actually got myself back into an eating disorder treatment center, but I was only there for about 5 days. To to catch you up on the rest of the year, I got to the point where I realized that I couldn't keep doing the same thing over and over again. I was so nervous about doing the wrong thing. I didn't want to be the one to decide that I needed to eat more and I needed to gain weight. I felt like I needed a professional team to tell me what to do and to validate that I had a problem. This is the entry. I just ate morning snack and I feel even more hungry. I'm really hungry and I have to wait over an hour and a half before lunch. This is really tough. I hope I feel better soon. I feel like screaming. How on earth am I in an eating disorder treatment center and feeling like this? If nothing is wrong with me, then why do I feel like this? When I express this to them, they tell me that I have to trust in the process, but I literally am struggling to get through each hour, let alone waiting days or weeks. I think that this is a turning point for me. I got to treatment and I was expecting them to just shovel me with food because I knew that that's what I needed. I just knew. And as you can see, extreme hunger kicked in, and even though I was eating, I was getting even more hungry. But I guess because I was new, they were taking things slightly too slow for my liking. I ended up advocating to a bunch of professionals that I needed to eat more food. But this kind of shows that I knew what I needed and I actually didn't need anybody to tell me what to do. I didn't need anyone to validate me because I should be the one to validate myself. I ended up leaving after a couple of days. I had a meal plan in hand and I did use it for the first week or so, but at the same time I was getting more hungry by the day. So then I ended up calling up my mum again. Good old mum. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but we made the plan that we would go and eat every single meal out together. And that was kind of the beginning of that journey. I rapidly started to feel like me again. I don't really know how to end this because it seems so juxtaposy. I was like hopeless for 1 second and then suddenly I'm like superwoman or something and I'm like, yes, I can do this. I think for me, I committed to eat unrestricted. I knew that my eating disorder was going to chatter away to me, but I had to keep pushing through. I had to put that aside. I couldn't actually even reason with it. I don't know if that was helpful. So yeah, that was kind of the progression of my year. I felt like it was very easy for me to share my diary entries. I don't really hold much shame towards it anymore, and I've moved on from this period in my life. So now all of this stuff is just historical reference for me. You know, my historical writings. Leave me a comment if anything that I brushed on during this video caught your attention, or you have questions or more opinions about it. Maybe we can have another talk at another time in another video. You're amazing again. See you later. Bye.